Right, week two. Hi guys, welcome. I'm Trudy and I'm the creator behind the soon-to-be small business Mittel Me. So if you watched my first video last week, you'll know, but if you haven't, just in quick summary, it was nearly 4 weeks ago-ish that I decided that I was going to properly give this a go in terms of setting up my own small business. So I'm still in the very early stages and not yet up and running. There are a couple of main things I want to do this week. So the first one, while not directly business related, will just help me overall. It's getting this room a bit more tidy and organised, because at the moment you probably can't tell because I've cleared any clutter from the background, so it's not too bad, but the rest of the room over this side of me is not looking its best, shall we say. So I really want to get that more tidied and organised, so it's a much nicer space to work in, and also it's a bit more easy to film in as well. And the second one is to get some samples sewn up. I want to be able to sew some test versions up so I can check things like size, detail, and make any tweaks or changes or anything I want before sewing them up in the proper fabric. So I will film as and when over a few days and take you along with me. So today's task is Operation Tidy, Clean, try and get on top of everything that's going on in this room, also known as a hot mess. So this is one of our spare rooms, and I'm very lucky that it's primarily used as a hobby room for myself. So I've got my sewing machine in here and all my fabric, bits and pieces related to sewing. I've got yarn in here for my knitting and crochet, and then other various bits that I've accumulated over time as well. And then it's also used in primarily this wardrobe here, and on top I used to store bits for our camper van that we don't use on a daily basis. So yeah, so I can't, clear this down completely to just now use for my small business. It will still need to have these other things in here. However, I can definitely do a much better job of organising it and hopefully getting it presentable. Right, we've got a long, we've got a long, very achievable task ahead of us. I'm trying to convince myself. I'm not feeling my best today, but I really need to get some of this done, because getting it done will make me feel so much better and more productive, and it just will make it so much easier for me to film in too. I haven't got to shove everything to one side just to make a space where I can film. I'm currently sat on the floor. I don't even know where to begin. I'm getting a state of overwhelm, but I think what I might start doing is trying to tackle stuff that's in these IKEA units. I really need to try and be ruthless. I enjoy different hobbies and crafts and things relating to that. I often think, oh, I might need that one day. If that day hasn't come in the last 2 years, it needs to get rid, out the door, bye. That's our approach. That's what we're doing. I can already see there's 2 books here that I have kept for ages, and have I ever opened them? No. Will I ever open them? Probably not. I will probably go online and look. So as much as I love having books, I don't have the space, so those are 2 things that can go straight away. Oh guys, why is this so difficult? I'm only on the first box, and this is definitely going to be a process of it looks worse before it gets better. And already I'm like, oh, labels. One day I might need labels, especially in a business. Maybe labels would be handy, but come on. That size label's not going to be useful, is it? They're going to have to go, well, donated. Then we had a kind of hole punch thing, which literally cuts out these little round discs of paper, which again, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Why is it cool? What use will this have for me? I don't know. And I'm still coming back to these blooming books. I really don't want to get rid of these books either. I'm like, oh, it's so nice having something in a book format, and I just think Oh, such a shame to not use a book anymore. Makes me sad. We have an empty shelf. It's just a shame that everything's on the floor. In fairness, this pile here is things that I'm hoping to get rid of, and then I'm probably keeping these, but they obviously need condensing down, and then I can reuse these to hopefully put some things from some of these other bits in. Right, I am super happy. That was not the most fun job in the world, but we are done. Well, it's not perfect, it's not completely finished, but it's finished enough for now, and that's the main thing. So it's a much more workable space and a much more pleasant space. So we have floor space, which is very nice. And then, yeah, these units, this cubby hole here isn't great. I need to still sort of tidy that fabric a little bit, but overall it's much tidier, so very happy with that. Fabric's been sorted into sections. I know where some hardware and bits and pieces is for things I need to make for the business as well, so that's great. And then I've picked up these storage boxes from B&M. I really like the colour of these. I thought it went really well with yellow on the wall in the room as well, and fits within the colour scheme that I like, so really happy with those. They're empty at the moment, but I was thinking I can use these once I start making products up, and have them as storage. Picked up this little guy. Oh, his ears remind me of our dog Mittel, because when she walks, her ears do this. So thought he was cute. Then we've got a much tidier desk space now as well. I do need to get a proper laptop stand or something for the laptop. At the moment it's just on the box that it came in, which obviously doesn't look amazing, so I'd like to change that. Added this nice little candle that I just picked up from Asda. Like the colour, thought it goes with the boxes and the colour scheme. Oh, and also picked up this from B&M as well, just nice little colourful rainbow. So yeah, very happy with that. Much nicer space to work in. Like I say, not quite finished, but yes, vast improvement from what it was, so very happy, and one job ticked off the list. What you looking at? You're not impressed, Mum's working. Right, I've made a start on sewing up a few samples. I did talk to you guys as I was doing some of these, and unfortunately the footage isn't good enough for me to use, which is annoying. But we live and learn, so I will just let you know the bits I've sewn up now. So I've just sewn these samples up in an old but clean duvet cover. I find duvet covers are quite good for sewing up samples because they're usually fairly inexpensive, especially if they're old ones you've already got lying around or ones you've picked up in a charity shop or something like that, and you get a lot of fabric for the price. So yeah, good thing to use before cutting into the precious fabric. As these are samples, I haven't finished them in the way that I would when I'm sewing the final product. So if you spot any loose threads or edges that haven't been finished or things a bit wonky or whatever, they've literally just been whizzed up just to give me an idea of, you know, sizes, details, anything I want to change, things like that. So first up, we've got a dog bandana. I've just done the one size for now, but I will obviously do a few different sizes. I've done this one in 2 different fabrics, so I may do finished ones like that to make it potentially reversible, or I may do all one fabric. I have seen them where people put poppers on the ends, so you just literally obviously put it around the dog's neck and popper it shut. I do think that's a good idea, however my personal preference is I love the look of how it ties, so I'll probably just leave it as you tie it up to fasten it. I did think, could I do these as sort of multi-purpose and potentially, you know, say human could... I keep saying human. What sounds better, human or person? Person. I don't think we use the word human in daily life much. Anyway. Yeah, I did think, could I sort of say this is, you know, multi-purpose and also use it as a sort of neckerchief. Obviously, if you've got a dog that sheds a lot like mine, you might not want to use the same one as your dog. But yeah, I quite like the look of a little neckerchief, but I think unless it's going to be the larger size. It's not going to fit around a person's neck, so if I did want to do that, I think I'd have to do different sizes. I did also think though it could potentially be used if you were to roll it up. Again, I don't think it would be big enough to, sorry, this isn't going to look right with my hair down and in this fabric, but just to give you the gist, I don't think, again, unless it's the massive size, it's not going to be big enough to go around a head like this. But I did think if you've got your hair tied up in a ponytail with a smaller scrunchie, then you could potentially tie this around it, you know, and have it sort of in a knot around your ponytail, like so. Then we've got poo bag holders. I tried a couple of different variations of these. We've got this little envelope style. So the roll of poo bags would just go in here and then you pull it out here. Now, I've decided I don't like that style. I think, I don't know, I don't like it. I don't think it's very practical, and I don't like the width of a poo bag coming out either. I think these would be an option. I would add a little piece of fabric here like we've got on the other ones, this bit here, so you could then add something to clip it on. But I think I would add a opening in the back, whether that's like a buttonhole opening or an eyelet opening, so you can pull the poo bags out from the back. But yeah, that's quite a good option in that it's also good that I could use up scraps of fabric quite easily, and there's no zips or anything on that, so be a nice simple one and a lower price point, which I think is always good to have products on offer that sort of range in price. So after that one, I wanted to try a design that wasn't an envelope style and encased it, so then we went on to this one here. So you've got the zip on the front, so you obviously put your roll in there, zip it up, and then you've got an opening at the back. So for the minute, oh, it's just going to join us. I'll show you. Say hello. Hello. Yeah. Oh, you are too cute. Right, so where were we? And then you've got your opening on the back. So this one's just got a buttonhole opening at the minute. So I'd either do that or the little eyelet opening, and then you just pull your poo bags out from there. So that was the first one. I knew I wanted to add a hook on the back so you could clip it to, you know, your jeans or your bag or your lead or whatever. And then once I'd made this one, it seemed a little bit too big. There was a little bit of too much space, and you probably obviously want something like that fairly discreet, so I thought we can probably downsize a little bit. So then we went on to this one. I've just made it a little bit smaller. You can see it's got the roll in there, so it's nice and snug around that. You've got your zip on the front, obviously, like that. That pulls out of the back. And then I've just added a tab on here, so I'll probably make that slightly shorter and then put on either like a D-ring or a little lobster clasp or something like that, so it can be attached. So then we've got nice and simple, we've got a little scrunchie. I like this size. I'll probably do one slightly bigger as well, just to have that option, so it's a little bit wider and fuller. But yeah, handy thing to have. I did slightly wonder whether scrunchies fit within, you know, the kind of brand identity and things like that, but when I'm out and about in the van or dog walking, I'm often tying my hair back, especially when it's windy, so I thought, yeah, it does, I think it fits. And then the last of the samples at the minute, we've got this treat pouch. So this initial mock-up is a little bit too tall, I think, so I've clipped it at the side here to the new height that I want to cut out. Happy with the width and that of the base. And then at the top here we've got a drawstring channel, which I felt was a little bit tall as well, so I've just clipped that down, so I'm going to make that half the height on the next one. With these, I plan to also make them in a canvas fabric with the option of having a contrast pattern fabric or contrast plain fabric as well. So I think I'm just going to alter the pattern pieces to give me that option to do that nice and easily. And then I plan on lining them with like a wipe clean ripstop fabric, so when you put your treats in, you can at least wipe the inside clean nice and easily. I think I'll also add a tab to the back, so like one of these, and then if you want to just put it in your pocket or wherever as is, that's fine obviously, but it just gives you then the option to attach it to the waist of your jeans or your bag or lead or whatever. Pleased with that, so I think now I'm going to make those changes and see what fabric we can get them sewn up in. to the fabric to grab something to make the next version up in. So this cubby hole here has got fabric that I've bought specifically to use for the business. However, I don't think I want to cut straight into that just yet. I think I want to do one more version first just to make sure. So I've pulled out a few pieces down here that go together. So this fabric is offcuts from when I've done dressmaking projects. It's fabric that I still love and would be happy to list, but if I do want to do another version, then it's not the end of the world if this doesn't end up getting used for the shop. So I've pulled out a couple of checkered pieces of fabric. So I've got a navy one here, and then we've got a black one here. Then luckily I had some plain pieces of fabric to go with it, so I've got some navy here to go with the navy one and some black here to go with the black one. So I think I might use this to make up a couple of versions. And then we've got our ripstop fabric here, so that's nice and lightweight and wipe cleanable. You can wipe it clean. So yeah, I'm going to use that to line them as well. So let's do it. Wow, that is a lot of rain. So I'm halfway through sewing up my first little treat pouch. I'm very happy with how it's coming along. This is just the outer. I need to do the lining next to go inside. So yeah, I've just used this navy checkered fabric that I pulled out along with the navy contrasting fabric at the bottom and on the base. I ordered this navy cord to go in the drawstring channel and I'm super happy I did. I think it looks a lot better than having a stark black contrast. And then I think what I'll do is also order some navy toggles as well, because I think that'll look good rather than the black ones I've currently got. But yeah, I'm really pleased that pulls up like that. Oh no. Do you know what I forgot to do? I said I was going to add a tab at the back, didn't I, to hook it on. Oh, that's annoying. I'm going to have to unpick some of the back and add in that little tab, because I definitely want that in there. That's a bit frustrating. One good thing though, and you might not really care if you don't sew, but I'm super happy with the pattern matching at the back. Right, we need to add that little tab for the back. Cool, so I've added on the tab at the back. I'm super glad I was talking to you guys and realised that I hadn't done that. It was much easier to fix before I sewed up the lining and attached that. So yeah, so I've just got this tab at the back now, and I've attached a bronze D-ring with this little lobster clasp. I do have other options, so I've got the same thing in silver. We could have gone with a key ring with a little lobster clasp attached as well. Or I've also got black carabiners, so I think any of those would have worked. I went with this one because I think that's my favourite. I'm quite indecisive, but I think that's my preference. Obviously at the moment, unfortunately, I haven't got a customer base to ask their opinion or see which one sells best or anything like that, so in the future that might be something that I put out there and see if there is a preference, or try different ones out and see what sells well. But yeah, for now I've just gone with mine. Actually, if you've got a preference, whether it's this one or, you know, one of these others, I'd be really interested to hear whether it's the same as mine or a different one. Either way is good, I'd just be interested to know. Okay, so I've just added the lining on the inside there, so yeah, you can wipe that clean and just makes the inside look all nice and neat. I'm really happy with that. Drawstring to pull it shut. Obviously I just need to add the toggle like I say, but yeah, pretty much finished apart from that. So really pleased. I think that's one I'm going to carry forward and make more of these up in some different fabrics. I think I'm going to leave the vlog here for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see what I've done so far in terms of prep for getting ready for my small business launch, you can watch the first video here, and I really hope to see you again next week. Cheers, bye. So I've made up, no I haven't made anything up. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, can you let me do this please?